Ah. Sorry, I'm just adjusting my position. I'm gonna sip of water in first. Oh, I'm so glad. I'm so glad that my mic is not picking up any external noise outside right now. Hello everyone. Hold on, let me just open something up. It's a slow day. It's a Monday after all. 月曜日だからのんびりしましょう。仕事終わったら酒飲みとかただのゲーム遊びとか雑談しながらのんびりしましょう。休みしましょう。End of the day, end of work. Take it easy, drink some questionable, just drink some alcohol. Oh no, drink some alcohol, drink something nice to relax yourself. Play some games, or just talk around to some friends if you like to. Just do things that you relax yourself with. It's a long day. We live in a chaotic world. So yeah. Always treat yourself nice. Treat yourself well. Ah. 何を話そうかな。What should we talk about? Oh yes, okay, sorry, I was doing something in the background actually, so I'm just trying to finish up whatever I have to before I actually can put my full attention here. Oh, that's not. Oh wait, no, that's not it. 作業配信かなこれ。作業配信になったらやばくね？仕事終わったらまだ仕事があるのとか、家に戻ったら、まだ仕事あるのこの人。Oh, whoa, no, don't do that. Okay, thank God. Am I? Yeah, I'm streaming. That's good. Ever since last time that I had this issue. Last time I ever had this problem. Actually no, the last time I meant the previous stream that I just had earlier this week. My debut stream. If you didn't know, I was talking to myself for 1 whole hour without knowing it. Only to realize, I wasn't streaming. I did not start the stream. Debut 配信で、ストリームの状態で、まだ配信してない状態で、1時間自分に自分に撮ってる自分だけで喋ってるのに、誰も、なんというか、配信してないだから、話せるとか誰も聞いてないとか、配信まだ始まってない、マジ始まってない状態で喋ってる時なのに、1時間経ったの後で、配信枠、YouTube スタジオで、見たら、 Go Live の配信開始するとかのボタンが、めっちゃ光ってるので、その時思ったら、この1時間、たったの1時間で配信してない。と思ったら、結局、そう切ったんだ。1時間で、自分だけで話せる。誰も聞いてないの話せるとか、1時間で配信載っていない。しんどい。So I was saying, like, I was talking to myself for 1 whole hour on my debut stream without having gone live. And I was like, I thought I went live. I was like clicking on OBS and it's telling me, oh yeah, you start streaming. And I was like, okay, sure. Click on the go live button. Oh, okay, it's going live now. And the next thing, and the only time I realized I wasn't streaming was 1 hour later. Where I'm almost done talking everything I needed for my debut stream. And I was like, oh no, that's not good. It's painful, I'll tell you. It's painful. Absolutely painful to realize that you have been talking to yourself for 1 whole hour without knowing it. 日本語喋りてー。今月忙しいな。だから、多分他の VTuber は日本語話せるかなと思って。I wish to speak Japanese. I want to speak Japanese. I want to practice my Japanese, but I have to find time to go practice Japanese speaking with people. But can't find any. Not really, I can't find any. I have this dedicated place I usually go once a month to speak Japanese with Japanese people. But it's just that for the past 2 months I've been so busy that I can't find any. I just can't find any time to go and practice my Japanese. So the only time I'm using Japanese is really just reading and writing whatever I can write. So yeah, it's truly painful. Right, let me just update the topics on what I'm talking about here actually. Just in case people didn't know what I was talking about. Yeah, let's go with that. I might just drop the font size though. It's a bit too big. Actually, wait, can I even change the font? Oh, wait, I can change the font size. Holy crap. It's big though. It's really big. I wonder how small. Oh my god, that is small. One, 2, 4, 2, 4, 8. 1, 2, 4. 2, 4, 8. Let's go with that. Just slightly smaller. Sometimes I really hate what I'm doing. I just like, oh look, I come back home from work. 仕事終わったら家に戻って、その後、なんという、フリーランス仕事はまだしてる。フリーランスの仕事まだあるのに。なんで家に戻ったらまだ仕事あるのに。なんでI'm like, They have to come back from work only to come back and be like, oh hey, you still have some things you need to do for this freelance project. I'm like, why? I'm home already, but I can't. I'm not free from work. How could this happen to me? Hold on. Integers 8 bits? Holy crap, I can't remember my basics. Hold on. 4 bits? Yes, integers are 4 bits. I hate. Yeah, sometimes I'm just doing work. Good evening. Hello. Hello. Oh, that's a nice cat. I'm so glad to be working nowadays. 就職したら、就職の成果でめっちゃ喜んでる。就職、仕事があった。探して、仕事、なんというか、半年かかっ、半年か。6ヶ月間の仕事探して、ようやく、5月ぐらいかな。5月で、仕事を、就職したので、めっちゃ喜んでる。I'm so glad I found my job. So yeah. Oh, I am so bad at doing this, I guess. Honestly, I am so bad at doing this now that I think about it. What can you do? I need to make the font smaller. 1, 5, 6. Man, I wish I could just like... Yeah. It's a nice evening. It's a Monday evening. You know? I hope everybody's night is going well with them. I'm not exactly tired actually. 疲れていないというのは嘘なんだけど、眠ったらいざというと、もしベッドに横になったら多分寝られる。でもそんなに疲労していないからな。わかるかなYeah, I'm just really taking it easy. I just wonder. Just taking it easy, taking it slow with days. 今後の配信予定とか。What should I do in the coming future? What should I be doing? I'll be sure to be playing some games, that's for sure. Dreaming plans. 今後の配信何をしたいとか何をするとかのゲームやるとか雑談するとかなんという歌配信カラオケ配信のやりたいんだけど結局家で誰か聞かれるのはめっちゃ恥ずかしいんだけどだから多分カラオケ配信はまあね今カラオケ配信はちょっと遠慮したいんだけどね一応臨時的に一応カラオケ配信をしないとなのでめっちゃもったいないんだけど最近ね歌のボイトレとは言わないんだけどボイトレじゃないなこれ歌の授業とかどうやって歌うとか比喩とか発音とかこういうものが授業クラスがあって結局1ヶ月間ぐらいかな1ヶ月2ヶ月くらいかな参加したんだけど結構自分の歌力とかなんというか上がってるかもしれないね自分の思ったら以前の歌力とか今の歌力以前の歌の声とか今の歌をどうやって声とかじゃないって実力じゃないな技とか呼吸の技とかどうやって音を出せるとかこういうものが結構伸びたので自分はこの知識を学んだとかいっぱい学んだせいでいっぱい学んだ後でなんというか歌力が上がってるわかるかなAnyway, so yeah, like saying I've been joining class. I applied for like singing classes. It's not really about like, it's not what they call as voice training. It's more like about like, like singing, like so how to sing, practice your sorry, hold on. まだ咳が入ってる。I'm still having coughs. So yeah, like, it's not about voice. I wouldn't really call it voice training. It's more like, learning how to sing, how to do the correct breathing, practicing with whatever notes that you can do. So figure out how's your voice and such. So yeah, so that's what I've been doing for the past. I've been going for it for like maybe say a month or two. I think it's at least 2 months now. So yeah, I feel like I'm getting better at it also. So yeah. But like I was saying, I can't really do so in the future. I'll most likely be doing things like games, maybe some just chatting sessions and such. But there's a good chance that I won't be doing karaoke streams for the time being, because I'm not a fan of having people hear me, especially when I'm home. I'm not a fan of having people hear me singing, and I feel very embarrassed about it. So yeah, for a good period of time, we probably won't have singing streams and such. So yeah. Oh right, and I would have gone for classes recently, but more like, I didn't attend classes recently in a sense because I caught the big C. When I say the big C, I meant Corona. So yeah, oh man, I caught the big C and I was really upset about it because it threw a complete wrench into well, it did disrupt my daily life. I was out of commission for like an entire week. So yeah, I couldn't go for classes and I couldn't go to work, I couldn't go for classes, and I was just stuck at home. Feeling really bad that I got sick. It was pretty hellish, I would say. Nobody likes to fall sick. So like nobody likes to fall sick. 病気は嫌だな。風邪ひくとか、最近の流行り病のコロナウイルスをひいたらめっちゃ嫌だな。僕はもうひいちゃった。なので、1週間仕事できないとか、1週間仕事できないので、あと、クラスの授業は参加できない。面倒になったら、コロナをひいたら、結構面倒になるとか、ね。I'm really bad at doing this, I have to say. 雑談配信をやるなら、視聴者があるならこそ雑談配信ができるとか。かもね。If you have no viewers, what are you gonna talk about? There's no one talking to you. You just can't ramble about your life and go on. But I guess that's the point of like being able to improvise, trying to find things to talk about and such. I guess that's the important thing, Maybe 話題とは違うな。会話できか。会話でき。会話できたのか。ねえ。で、カードゲームみたいな。違う。そうじゃないよ。そうじゃないよ。会話でカードゲーム。なんというと、欲しい。カードゲームやりたい。でも毎週土曜日がMTG やるとか。友達と一緒に MTG やると。土曜日でお店に行って、カードゲームやる。MTG。大変だな。MTG is an expensive game. How do you learn Japanese? 日本語どうやって今まで日本語どう勉強したんだろうとか How do I learn Japanese? I learned it through sheer willpower. No, I lie, but I honestly I didn't really go for classes, so I just learned Japanese on my own. Really just picking up whatever I can find, so I just watch anime. The first way that everybody would say would be like, oh, I watch anime. You could learn Japanese from anime. I would say, please don't do that. You will end up speaking like an anime character, which is not realistic, I have to say. Like, it's super casual, super informal, and nobody really speaks like an anime character out in real life. If you were to watch things like, if you were to watch documentaries, watch dramas. The dramas are slightly more realistic, although there's a lot of like exaggeration when it comes to like emotions and such. But most of the lines that they speak, it's quite accurate in terms of what a person, how will a person speak. It's a lot better than watching just anime, honestly. So yeah, don't just say that, oh, anime can teach you Japanese. Yeah, you can learn, like like from anime there's a lot of slang you can pick up. There's a lot of how do I say, there's a lot of informal words, a lot of slang, a lot of accents. I wouldn't say accents is a good thing to pick up at that time, but you can get a rough grasp of how the sentence structure works in, like if you're just watching anime to learn Japanese, you can get a rough grasp of how Japanese is like if you were to be speaking in the language. But like it's a really bad way to learn from anime, honestly. Just sign up for actual classes. You're gonna learn way better than the way I learned it. I've been learning Japanese for 10 years now, so slightly more than 10 years actually, but yeah, to get to my level at this point, it's a lot of hitting against the wall and trying to figure things out yourself. A lot of looking through Google Translate, a lot of trying of like reading. Like reading is a very important thing to do, so you really want to be reading a lot of passage. I wouldn't say you have to read like long passages, but just read short excerpts. Like even reading manga is fine, but just keep in mind that manga and anime are pretty much the same thing. Things are just really, if you're watching things like those fantasy stuff and everything, like it's very informal and nobody really talks like that. However, there are exceptions where I would say it's like if you are reading things like slice of life, like actual. I'll say if you were to imagine this as a real, like if you can imagine the plot of that series as like you can translate that plot into real life examples, then yeah, you can kind of learn some sort of casual to normal conversational Japanese from there. So there's this manga that I've been following lately. It's I don't know. I'm so lazy to translate the title, but I think if I remember correctly, the title in Japanese is Rin to Saku. Kaoru hana wa rin to saku. Think of something around those lines. Kaoru hana wa rin to saku. Rin no saku. Sorry. Wait, I need to check this. I honestly can't remember. Kaoru hana. Kaoru hana wa rin to saku. Yes, correct. It's that. So it's one of those mangas that I say you can read. You can read something like that and then be like, oh, it's really it's it's close to what I would say as like if you can read and pronounce every single word out, then I would say if you can say those sentences out in real life and not feel embarrassed or feel weird about it, then yeah, that is actual proper kind of way of speaking Japanese, I would say. Sorry, water. So yeah, like to speak, like to learn how to speak, like reading and writing is one thing, like understanding how Japanese works, how the sentence structures work, learning adjectives and all that stuff is important, yes, correct, but ultimately it's all about how are you speaking it, like how do you pronounce these words, how do those intonations work, like so like 香る花は凛と咲く it's like 香る花 yeah, even I have some problems sometimes, so it's like if I have to think about, like usually if I think about it, I end up saying it in a very weird way, but usually if I don't think, I just speak my mind and it just comes out fine usually, but if I have to think about it, it's just gonna end up very weird. So it's something like 香る花は凛と咲く 香る花は凛と咲く yes, somewhere along those lines. I think there is a thing about like feeling comfortable speaking Japanese, so it's like if I'm in the right environment, like so for example, if I were to go to virtual Japan right now and speak like, and I have to speak Japanese there, I will feel a lot more comfortable speaking Japanese as compared to being like, hey, you can speak Japanese, right? Come on, say a phrase for us, say a sentence for us, that kind of thing. But like for example, if you're in a job interview and they ask, and they like your job interview requires you to speak Japanese, and they ask you like, could you just introduce yourself in Japanese? Obviously, at that point, it's just gonna be very hard for you to speak Japanese. You're just gonna clam up, you're just gonna stutter all the way and be like, okay, no, that's just an exaggeration, but like, you're just gonna mess up speaking Japanese and it just sounds very weird, trust me. I have gone through that I have gone through that before and it's just horrible. Still a bit sick actually, I'm not feeling, just hate the feeling of being sick, god damn it. 病気は嫌だな。早く元気になりたいよ。Sorry, so I was like saying, let me try speaking that in Nihongo, in Japanese. Let me try speaking that in Nihongo. Wow, way to mix both languages up. So it's like, what did I just say? Oh, actually, what did I say? 日本語を話せる機会はあまりないから、もし日本語を話したい、まあ、必要な時には日本語を話せるんだけど、環境的にね、環境によって、日本語をどうやって喋るとか、声をできるとか、環境によって、一番気持ちいい環境で日本語を絶対普通に喋る。なので、もしバーチャル日本に行ったら、日本語を話せる、日本語を話せるときに、とても、だいぶが実践的に話せるとか、普通に話せる。でも、もし就職の免許じゃない。就職のインタビューとか、日本語を話せるのね。じゃあ、自己紹介で日本語をしてください。自分の自己紹介を日本語で、どうやって説明するかな。じゃあ、自己紹介で日本語にするとか。こういう時の、こういう環境で絶対喋れないでしょ。めっちゃぐちゃぐちゃになって、ガバガバになってるとか。こんにちは。 自分の名前は、なんというか、絶対伝わらないでしょう。だからね、環境によって、どういうレベルの日本語を喋るとか、まあ、どのぐらい心地よい場所があったら、どれぐらいの心地よいレベルがあって、日本語を喋るレベルが上がるぐらいのね。絶対今の日本語はめっちゃバカバカになってる。So yeah, that is how I would speak Japanese if I ever have to. What's that? Oh yeah. So yeah, like usually I would put まあそうだね、普通、最近ね、まあ配信始まったばっかりなので、どれぐらい、どんな、頻度とか、頻度かな頻度、ちょっと調べみる。まあ、I think there's an important thing about Japanese is that you have to keep learning, you have to keep telling yourself, you have to pick up new things. So if you find something that you can't find, you can't, if you find something you can't read, can't pronounce, or you don't understand the meaning, it's always good to just look it up and it's like, oh, so this means this, and just take a note, that kind of thing. 日本語だけじゃなくて、もし、日本の方々が英語に勉強しているとか、他の言語を勉強しているとか、知らない文字とか、知らない文字とか、知らない、組み合わせとかあったら、翻訳機に打って、これ、こういう意味なんだとか、ちょっとメモって、次回で、メモに見るとか、こういうものがあったら、こういうものがあったなーって、そこから学んでるとか、どうやって使うとか、どう使うとか、どうやって、どんな場所へ使うとか、どんな状況に使うとか、このうちどんな状況で使うとか、学んだ後で、結構知識に入るとか、ね。So it's like, it doesn't apply to just like Japanese. It's more like if maybe if you're Japanese and try to learn English or other kind of languages, it's about always wanting to learn, always trying to find things that you don't know about things. So if you figure out that, oh, you see these words, see this sentence structure, or you see this like phrase and you don't understand what meaning it is, I would say it's good to look it up, just drop it into a translator as... actually, well, it depends on how accurate the translator is, but I wouldn't expect anyone to have like a convenient friend that can just translate sentences for them, that kind of thing, you know. So it's good to just like read up on yourself, try to find like, oh, so this means this, so that means that, then just write it down, and if you could, then you can just once in a while just come back and look back at it as like, oh, so there was this such a thing that I did look up such a thing, and so like try to remember, try to revise from there, and try to make sure that it gets into your mind, so you know the next time when to use it, what kind of situation to use it, that kind of stuff. Yeah, learning a language isn't easy as much as some people make it out to be. It's like, oh, it's just go for classes, haha, it's just like that. And no, not everywhere works that way. Like, I know people who are like really good. Oh, crap. Yeah. I am sometimes a bit too busy even when I'm home. I have so much things to be looking at, like chats to look at. I have then now I have to do this like plan my streams and all this stuff. So it's busy. It's gotta be quite busy nowadays. Right. So I don't think in terms of like streaming plans. Sorry, I have to jump. Like I'm going on like wild tangents here and there. I'm just going back and forth between things. But like in terms of like my streaming plans, I'm not very sure if I really. I wouldn't say I wouldn't want to stream, but more like I wouldn't make a schedule for the time being. So I would really just update my Twitter. I'll be updating my Twitter on like, oh hey, I'll be doing this stream on this day, and I'll just put up the stream. I'll put up the 枠英語なんだけど枠とか英語でなんというかthe stream site. Yeah, so like it's not most likely I would just so if I have any upcoming streams, I would put it up on Twitter. I'll put on the tag as you can. Oh right, I need to make a layout where I can put the stream tag and everything nicely in this screen. So I will need to make some modifications to this layout. Aha! More work! I wouldn't call it work, it's just really a hobby. It's just really trying to find things to do on my entire like half the time I'm home I just don't do anything, so finding something to do is always important, I would say. I'm not a cat. But yeah, so like trying to find things to do ? But not really trying to find things to do, but just try to find something to pick up my time, something to practice all these kind of like people skills, I say, like communication skills, like learning how to talk, learning how to, because you don't find such opportunities out there commonly, like especially when it comes to like talking to people over the internet. It's great to meet different kinds of people. It's like, how do they speak? What do they look out for and all this kind of stuff. I guess that's the really important thing when it comes to like, you know, like practicing like talking, like okay, so I guess it's important to know that, I guess it's important to say that's like just VTubing. Like people think that being a streamer, being a VTuber is like, oh, you just play. I'm so sorry. I have to make this voice. I feel like whenever I'm trying to make this voice, I get problems with like I start like choking up because it's just so stupid. So it's like when what people usually would say, it's like, oh, it's just being a VTuber, it's just being a streamer, you just play games, right? It's not just that. It's the same thing as like you're telling a game developer that's like, oh, you just make games, it's not that hard. Yeah, that's the kind of things that you tell people to piss them off. It's like, do you understand how much effort, time, planning goes into making a game? I know that because I studied that. In my time, I did study that. I did study about games, so, and I graduated from my games course. I will not go into details, but you can kind of guess. But it's not easy making a game, especially even like let's not talk about digital games, okay? Like before the age of digital games, can you imagine how board games were made? How much time had to be spent prototyping it? How much time had to be spent developing its mechanics? It's not. If that alone can take up so much time and effort, can you imagine how much more time and effort you'll take into making this? Into making like a video game? Imagine like making a board game. You probably need as much people from that board game or even more to make a video game, vice versa. Well, it really depends on the scale of the video game, the scope and everything, but it takes the same manpower and it takes the same amount of effort or even more to make a game. Time-wise, it's even longer. So some people just don't. Oh god, I'm ranting about making games. Gosh, like it just irks me sometimes that when people look at it and be like, oh hey, games, did you make games? You don't need to learn this. Why would you need to learn C++ to make games? Oh, you sweet, you poor child. You have no idea what you're getting yourself into. I mean, I say that seriously, like, making games isn't easy. Like learning how to make games, even that part is not even easy. So it's like saying to a YouTube streamer or Twitch streamer, it'd be like, you're making videos. Making videos is so easy. Like, yeah, try imagining. Try thinking up of a企画, 日本語は企画なんだけど、英語はなんだか。try thinking of like a game plan, I would say. Maybe it's a game plan, but like, what do you want to stream? What do you talk about? Like, so for example, like today, this is a 雑談配信. This is a 雑談配信, but this is just chatting. I'm chatting. I have no idea what I'm doing actually. I am still learning the ropes, and this is not easy. I know this is not easy. Younger me would think that this is easy, but not anymore because I learned how to make games. So yeah. So like it's not easy doing things like streaming. So like when fans be like, oh, why did he do that? Why did he choose to not stream today? Like, people need to take a break. It's not easy. Like, people take time to figure out what they want to do. It's such, so there's no use trying to force. Yeah, you're not doing any good to your Oshi streamer or your Oshi VTuber. That's like, it's not gonna do them any good anyway. In terms of like, you should be doing this. Like, they have their own plans. They have something they want to do. They have things they like to do, things they don't like to do. So for my case, I wouldn't make like weird. I wouldn't go out the way to make videos that are like they are like, like, oh, further, they kind of like making stupid videos, like stupid plans. I mean, sure, I would definitely do something stupid, but I wouldn't like do things that I wouldn't like to do. So like stream things like stream games that I wouldn't like to play. So for example, like streaming, I don't know, whatever's popular, so like Monster Hunter Rise, Sunbreak. Like, I do play Monster Hunter. I used to play Monster Hunter, but I honestly stopped playing it because it got, I wouldn't say it got toxic, but within the circle of friends, like it got very not fun over time, and it's not a game that really appealed to me. I'm not Capcom. Yeah, I'm not Monster Hunter's fan, like target audience. So like, it's natural that I wouldn't like the game because I'm not their target audience. Why would I like the game? Conversely, if you're someone who likes the game, you probably think, oh wow, this guy's just weak. He doesn't like the game. Like, that's what almost every fan would say. That like I do that to people sometimes, but I do it casual. I do it like, I know that if the person can take, whether the person can take a joke or not. So yeah. Do I want to translate everything that I just spoke in Japanese? That sounds like that is such a hassle. I would, oh yeah, speaking of Japanese, I would probably do like whole Japanese streams, but I really just try to speak Japanese through the entire stream if I can. But that's whether I 伸びるか伸びないとか I can't speak 伸びるか伸びないとか君次第だというか自分努力する頑張ればきっといけるという 考え方が良いだが、なんというか、英語で work smart, not hard。英語で、英語でwork smart, not hard という、言葉があって、努力はいいんだけど、もっと頭に入って、何をできるとか、何をやりたいとか、ちょっと考えれば、成果がきっと伸びるとか、努力だけはこれぐらい、もし自分が頭に入って考えればもっと伸びるとか。はい。Yeah, so it's like work smart, not hard, where you really have to account for how to appeal to your target audience, how do you want to get that target audience. So for my case right now, I'm new. It's not easy, I have to tell you that. I sometimes feel like I'm a tryhard where I really just post on Twitter and just really hope someone comes along and just pick me up to watch my videos. But it's not easy trying to like hold the attention of people, because in this day and age when there's so much digital media, trying to hold the attention of a viewer, you really have to have some really interesting content to there. If not, good luck trying to hold them for more than like 5 minutes. If you hold them for 5 minutes, I think it's pretty good already. So in my case, I'm really grateful that whoever's watching this, or whoever's like here talking to, like watching me, listen to me talking, it would be really great. It's really great. It's really good to me that, I mean, I don't care if it's 1 or 2 people. Sometimes I don't even care if like nobody's here. Like I want to practice this for me to practice. I want to figure out what's streaming is like, how should things be done, how can you improve, and all that kind of stuff. So like to me, it's really just learning. Like think of it as like it's you're doing a portfolio. Oh yeah, speaking of which, portfolio, it frankly speaking, if I'm doing this whole VTubing thing, it's really just, if you think about it, it's really good as a portfolio in terms of like, if people can look at it, it's like, oh hey, this guy knows how to talk, this guy knows how to pick people's attention, knows what to talk about, and all that stuff. And that's one of the good things. Like if you know how to talk, if you know what to attract people, I think it's a really good skill that even you can put that into you can use that in real life. It's not just like, oh, I'm good at games, and like some people say like, oh, you just play games, what are you even good at? Like there's quite a lot of things that go into playing games. It's like, oh, I'm going off the tangent again, I'm sorry, but it's like oh, like playing games isn't really just about like, even if let's just say FPS, there's so much things you have to multitask. It's how well are you able to multitask that lets you play games this well, that kind of thing. So there are a lot of real life aspects that come into play, even in just leisure, if you think about it. So it's like, it's not just like playing video games is bad. It's like, oh, you're just good at games and it doesn't translate to anything else in real life. So yeah. There are so many like now that I think about it, like just recently there's just so many corporate VTubers coming out. So we had Niji Sanji Ien, the Iluna's group. Yeah, there's like 6 livers over there, and then you have Hollow Tempest from Hollow Stars Ien. There's like 4 livers there, and that's just the big companies, it's like not counting the other corporate, like the other smaller corporate VTubers agencies that are releasing their own batch of VTubers. Like there's so much going on right now in this day and age that's like, it's just hard to catch up. Like even I enjoy watching VTubers also. Like my favorite agency, most of the time my favorite agency is Niji Sanji, so I just follow. this one VTuber that I tend to watch clips mostly, but I don't watch like full streams. Sometimes I do. I do follow indie VTubers and sometimes I really just enjoy watching them because they are doing it because they like doing it. They are not doing it just so because I can get popular and such. I admire that. I really admire that. So like I think in like in Japanese what they call is hakuoshi. So hakuoshi, yeah. So I'm like I follow a lot of VTubers. I just watch them. I really like to look into them. Like, oh, so this is how they do things. Oh, like even so they are doing it like this and such and such and such. And it's pretty admirable, honestly. But most likely I'm thinking that I'm choosing. I'm so bad at timings. I'm usually bad at timing. So when it comes to like maybe when I want to schedule a stream, I usually choose like the time where it's like peak for a lot of the VTubers out there. So even if the people are trying to find people to watch, people to like new VTubers to follow, new VTubers to support, it's a really bad timing, I would say. So like 10 p.m. JST is actually pretty bad because that's where most of the corporate, like, there's most of the big VTubers or the big livers are going live, streaming, and usually that garners a lot of attention, and as an indie it really just you really just get left in the dust where you don't really see much activity from people coming over. So I'm very glad that there are people watching, and it just makes me happy that you guys are here to listen to this garbage and whatever garbage I'm talking about. I have really low self-esteem when it comes to this, so like whatever I do, I guess you could call it imposter syndrome, but whatever I do, I don't think it's good. Even work, but with positive reinforcement that slowly goes away. But I honestly still don't think that I'm doing good enough for a lot of things in my life. So gee, I wonder why is that related to my to my background. But yeah, so it really just feels like I want to do better, I want to do more, but at the same time I'm just going to keep trying to figure out some things in life and such. So yeah. Oh hey, someone new. Wonder who's watching. Yeah, I have like VTube, I have like my YouTube video on the other video, so I just saw like it went up, but I honestly don't really bother too much with that. But I just like to know that people are watching, and just even if you don't comment, if you don't like leave anything in the chat, I'm totally fine with it. It feels nice to have someone listening to me, talking to me and stuff, because I don't really get this kind of interaction much anymore. Not with this whole corona out there. Oh hello, it's you. Yes, hello. Weren't you at like Roz? Weren't you at Roz's birthday stream or something? Isn't he like, aren't they like hosting it right now? Why are you here? You came in at like nearly the end, but I really am thinking of like, it's been an hour, so I'm not sure if I'm gonna go too long into this also because there's still work tomorrow. So yeah. What's up? Yeah, not much is up. So yeah, how was your night? It was really... It's a normal night, but it's not so normal because I'm here right now. So yeah, it's... Hey, you never know what every day might hold for you. Like, you'll never know what tomorrow offers you. So yeah, but how was your night? I'm actually kind of sick. I don't really like that. So yeah, slowly but surely, I believe. Slowly but surely, maybe I'll just rack up that audience. If I really want to do that whole. You're dumbing asking whether you choose to stream on YouTube and not Twitch. I don't really like Twitch as a platform. It's just not my preference. I never really liked Twitch, even in its earlier days. It just wasn't really my thing. And I felt that YouTube feels a lot nicer. It feels more like a more maybe you could say that my target audience is a bit different, but hey, who knows? But I'm still new. I only have 2 videos out. With this is my second stream. Like, come on. But yeah, I think I would enjoy YouTube more as compared to like Twitch. But you never know, maybe I'll have Twitch as like my side thing, like once in a while I'll just stream there for fun, that kind of thing. Nothing too serious over there. So yeah. It really is a difference of like, I wouldn't call it day and night, but I don't really like Twitch's protocols. I don't really like just standing on certain things. So I prefer YouTube on the end because it's a lot easier. I wouldn't call it a lot easier, like, but it's a lot more how to say this, it's more towards what I really want, what I want to do, the kind of content that I want to make, rather mostly making videos rather than just streaming, you know. I see. Yeah, I would say that it's easier to get views on Twitch as compared to YouTube, because especially as a VTuber, I would say, because there are a lot of corporate VTubers are on YouTube. So considering how much backing, how large their fan base, you're going to get very little views. Yeah, you shouldn't expect getting crazy views like, or anything, like, even I'm saying this as because as a VTuber, as like VTubing and YouTube is really hard, because trying to get people to watch your videos is, you're trying to find a needle in a haystack, trying to find that one content that you actually like. And that's not to say like everybody's making the same content, but even if you're making different content, it's better how well they are directing that content at the viewer and such. So, but Twitch, I think Twitch is a lot easier to get views, as long as you get the right tags and everything. But again, you're just getting overshadowed by the large streamers that are on Twitch also. But because Twitch is more geared towards streaming, I would say, so there are more. So being a VTuber there isn't too, like, VTubing scene on Twitch isn't that saturated. It's mostly on the Western side, but compared to being on YouTube, like for someone like me, I try to speak Japanese and I try to speak English at the same. I try to speak both languages, so I want to cater to both sides of the audience. Whether I get any Japanese viewers is one thing, whether I get any English viewers at the same time is also another thing. So yeah, I just want to do what I can. Oh no. It was not even speaking in Japanese. I wish it was me speaking in Japanese, but And I even did a test stream beforehand. I even set up everything nicely. Like, even like this layout, I did that the day before. I spent time setting up the layout, setting up the comments and everything, like the comments view and everything and such. Oh, just give me a moment. Let me make you as a moderator. I don't imagine this being very important, but hey, let's just make you a mod since I know you, that's why. But yeah, my debut mistake was I did not press. Okay, so in how do I explain this? So on YouTube Studio, there is this big red button that says go live, and you unless you have set it up on OBS to start the stream automatically, then it will do it for you. But if you're like me, usually sometimes I might not start the stream on time and kind of such. I don't really want people to be waiting, so I choose to start the stream manually. So I'll click go live. There's this button that says go live. So imagine this. It's my first stream. I just started streaming. I've set everything up, and I was like, okay, I click this button and it should. I click this button on OBS and it should send me live immediately. Also, I thought apparently I did it because I didn't have that auto stream start set up, so I didn't press the go live on YouTube, on the YouTube site, YouTube Studio. I spent 1 whole hour talking to myself, and only at the end of that first hour I realized I did not click. I did not go live. I wasn't live. I was talking to myself. No one's watching. Even if there was someone, they wouldn't have listened to. They wouldn't have been able to hear me. So upon figuring that out, I decided, you know what? I'm gonna do the same thing again. So at that point I clicked go live and I technically streamed for 2 hours for a debut. But because I did not click go live for the first half, it seems I only talked for 1 hour. So yeah. I at the end, nearing the end, I did not sound like someone who has been talking for 1 hour. I can tell you that. I did not sound like someone who was talking for an hour. It was really tiring. Yeah, I could tell. Like you know how tiring it is to stream. So imagine that you were talking to yourself for 1 whole hour without knowing it, only to realize, ah, crap, I have to do this all over again. So yeah, it's a pain in the butt. Now, I was talking about like I might be doing some game streams, and like the type of streams I'll be doing in the future. I'll most likely be doing like game streams, like some chat-in streams, and I have a plan for like a more dedicated genre that I want to follow, which is more talking about fashion and stuff. But I believe that still needs a lot of planning, honestly, on my end, because I'm not sure if anyone watches that on YouTube, especially in under VTuber. Like, are there like, does it clash with anyone? Is it like a common thing? And even if it's not common, like how well can it go, you know, that kind of thing. So yeah, I really want to talk about fashion. And I can then spread the word of my favorite brand. But yeah, I did I did talk about this on my debut stream, where I was like, oh, you don't have to have like a supermodel body or like be like skinny and everything to look nice. Like, anyone can look nice, that kind of stuff. Og. No, I'm not gonna say that word. I don't like that. But yeah, hello. Oh darn, people are coming in only now. Oh Christ. You do what daily? But yeah, I really want to talk about fashion. I really want to like tell people, like really to tell people, like you don't have to look like anyone can look good. Honestly, even like you don't have to spend like exorbitant amount of money to buy branded stuff to look good at the same time. So yeah, that's one of few things. Oh yeah, right. I remember I had this. I had this conversation with a lot of friends. I had this conversation with my friends, with some friends that was like, oh hey, you know, you could like how do I say this, like you could like I lost my train of thought. Oh no. So I was like saying like I was telling some friends like, you don't like, you know how oh god, I'm really tired at this point. Alright, so I was like saying like, you know how like otaku / weeb / nerd, they don't really know how to dress up, and if you remember like back in those days, I think it still happens now, like it's still relevant now in this day and age, where like, you know, cosplay goods, the full anime t-shirts and all that stuff, like yeah, sure, it's nice to some degree, but honestly right now at my current understanding of like how fashion works and everything, I honestly think it looks horrible. Like I would never wear that out. Like you will never see me wear anything like that out in the open anymore. So like what I would like to do is that I would like to do something like I would like to do something. Can you introduce yourself in Japanese? Oh, I can, but do I really want to? Hold on, just give me a moment. Let me drink some water. Oh man, you're putting me under pressure if I have to introduce myself in Japanese. If I close my eyes, maybe I can do it properly. Hold on. If I don't see, nobody can see me if they can't see me, if I can't see them. Yeah, I end up smiling a lot when I'm streaming because I don't know why, it's just how I look like when I talk to people sometimes. I can look serious if I really wanted to, but yeah. Anyway, yeah, if you are wondering why is this guy smiling so much, but that's really just how I am like when I'm talking casually to people. Anyway, sorry, Julie. Yeah? Yes. That's your name. Right. Can I introduce myself? Like, how long of introduction do you want it to be? Like, if it's a short one, I can do like if it's just introducing my name and what kind of things I would like to do in my stream, then yeah, I could do a simple one. But if I have to put thought into it, it's just gonna end up very badly. Nah, you know what? I'll just wing it. Right, I'll close my eyes so that nobody can see me do this. I have to take off my glasses for this. No. Please don't pull the Nihongo Jozu card on me. I do not want that. Do not pull the card on me. Oh, I had so many times where people like Nihongo Jozu, like, oh, Nihongo Jozu desu ne. I'm like, oh god, why did you do such a thing to me? That kind of thing. But yeah. Yes, I'm just gonna do my. I'll do a simple introduction now. Okay, I'll do it now before I actually try to wiggle my way out of it. Oh crap! I really have to close my eyes for this. Please forgive me for closing my eyes for this. はじめまして、僕の名前Aeter Canoirです。ラジオホスト系 VTuber であり、ファッション系 VTuber もかもしれないですけど、いざ、できれば、今後の配信内容は、ファッションとか、どうやって着替えとか、こういうものを話したいだけど、あと、それ以外は、ゲーム配信とか、雑談配信とかやりながら、みんなの応援をよろしくお願いします。That was really broken, now that I think about it. So yeah, that is how I would introduce myself in Japanese. It was, after thinking about it, it was a bit broken because I just started to fumble up at some point. In my mind was like, okay, maybe I should say things like that. And alright, I was talking about like speaking Japanese in like environments. So if I had to speak Japanese, if someone asked me to speak Japanese in like maybe say at wherever I'm living or we're living in, I wouldn't be able to speak properly, or I wouldn't really put like my 100% effort or feel natural about speaking Japanese outside of, like, it's not in my comfort zone to speak Japanese in a place like this. When I mean this, I mean wherever I'm staying at, not on this platform, but like outside of here, if I were to speak Japanese, then I wouldn't feel too comfortable about it unless I know the environment is like. But if I had to, if I'm forced to speak Japanese, like if I know that I have to speak Japanese to communicate, then yes, it would be a lot more better for me. Whereas like if I had, like, for example, if to go to virtual Tokyo right now, if I'm in virtual Tokyo right now, I have to speak Japanese most of the time. So yeah, I would speak it naturally. I'll like easily speak it. It would be no issue for me. I wouldn't hesitate to speak Japanese. Then hello. So yeah, like it would be so much easier for me to speak Japanese over there as compared to wherever I'm staying right now. Because there isn't a need for me to speak Japanese. Or like there isn't a need just to speak Japanese at where I am right now. So yeah. because since like most of the time I'm speaking in Mandarin and most of the time, or either that, most of the time I'm speaking mostly English. So yeah. It's a slow day. It's a slow night. I wouldn't call it. Actually, no, it's not really a slow night. It's actually quite eventful. I've seen like with so many people here. My chat is like filling up, and that breaks me. That makes me quite happy. I was like, one day I thought everybody's busy today, and I'm like, oh yeah, I mean it's Monday. Nobody really wants to watch a stream, and nobody really wants to like go through the effort of like, oh, I'm gonna stream on Monday. Unironically, I think Monday is one of the best days ever because consider the fact everybody is feeling down. You have the opportunity to feel good. You have the opportunity to think that it's the best day ever. So yeah, I honestly think Mondays are the best day ever. Change my mind. Everybody's like, oh, Monday blues. I'm like, what blue? What are you talking about? I have no issue with that. So yeah, I'll try. I'll really be trying to find a way to reach out to my target audience in the future. So yeah, if I can, I'll talk more about fashion when I can. So look forward to having like a fashion stream, fashion talking stream, that kind of thing in the future. I wonder why, I wonder how, I wonder why. Yeah, I like, oh yeah, I was like saying like I wouldn't do karaoke streams for the time being because I am extremely shy to be heard from people in my household. So yeah, like I don't like people hearing me sing unless it's like it's this environment thing, like this can't kill no joke kill it, like whether I'm comfortable or not to be singing or whether I'm comfortable to have like someone hear me sing on the stream, that kind of thing. I mean, I would sing on the stream, but I would just feel very embarrassed after that. That's all. Alright, like I just remembered. So like, yeah, like I think that's one thing I'm curious about in terms of like wondering how to like what kind of my streaming plans would be in the future. It's like what like I think one of them is like figuring out what games can be played on stream. I think it's the same for Twitch if I'm not wrong, Yuli. Like for your side, I feel usually since you're streaming mostly on Twitch, I believe it's an issue with like, can this game be streamed on platforms, that kind of thing. Like, how do you figure that out? Like, I don't think it's just as easy as just remembering to put the credits in your descriptions and everything, but having to figure out whether this game can be put on the stream is probably one of, like I think it's one of the few things that I feel that it will take quite a lot of time for me to figure out whether I can play a game on stream or not, because not every publisher / developer is comfortable with their game being on the stream or something like that. I mean, ultimately, if you're in like YouTube, if you're on YouTube, I believe Twitch has their own monetary system where like giving subs, I think, or bits if I'm not wrong. But like on YouTube where you get like super chat, I believe Bandai Namco games. Is it Bandai Namco? Or is it from software? I can't remember. But I believe there are some games. So for example, like Sekiro or Dark Souls or Elden Ring, I believe. Like you can't monetize those videos. Like you could play them on stream, but you can't monetize those videos if I remember correctly. So yeah, like some of those games, like trying to figure out what games can be played on stream, what can be monetized, what can't be monetized, that kind of thing. Like I guess that's one step of trying to figure out whether whether you could like it's a step in the journey of VTubing or like doing streams in general. Like, is there like, do you have to send an email out saying that request for permission to play this? Like, you know, corporate VTubers don't have to go through this much of a trouble, whereas compared to like, you know, like indie VTubers or indie streamers, they have to like figure out things like this themselves because hey, we don't have a manager or something like that. So yeah, like that, like I was talking about this earlier, like there is so much work to put in to try to get content out for your channel, trying to get content out, like thinking of yes, correct, content. It's generally content or /plan, but like it's not easy as it seems. That's what some people would say, like, oh, you just play games for a living. Like, no, that's not how it works. You have to interact with the audience. You have to think about what to talk about. You have to think about, like, can this game be played? Like, what else do I need for the game? That kind of thing. Like, can this be monetized? If it's monetized, do I get in trouble? This kind of thing. Like, there's so much things you have to figure out. There's like an iceberg. I remember seeing an image, like a Japanese, it's on Japanese Twitter. I remember seeing this image and it's just like the iceberg where the tip is like all the fun stuff and everything. And the bottom of the water is all like all the problems, all the work they have to put into trying to get things done and all that stuff. So yeah. Alright, I think maybe I'll end the stream soon. I'll end the stream somewhere around like 11:30, 10:30, depending on your time zone. So yeah, like is there anything else we could talk about? I wonder. Oh yeah, like right. So like games that I want to play, I wonder. I would like to play Muse Dash on stream, but I don't think that's possible now that I think about it. Since Muse Dash's developer stance on like, you know, like consider the fact that they didn't really like they have removed cover from, they stopped cover from playing their game, from being able to play their game on stream. So yeah, I don't like it when politics come into play. When it comes to things like games and such, where people have to be like, oh, because of this thing we can't play this on stream, then that defeats the purpose of making a game. You can't. Sure, you're putting it onto the game store and everything, but like the point of like streaming games is really to spread the word of the game, like, you know, word that this game exists, this game is fun. Whether in a sense, if you think about it, it's like publishing number two. Wow. No, sorry, there's like marketing, like the smaller version of marketing, but you have like they aren't really selling the product at the same, they are testing their product at the same time they are showing that the product is good. So like removing that revenue, like telling people that you can't do that, you can't play their game on stream, is like really just cutting off one ways of their marketing, honestly. That's what I think. Like, it doesn't matter if the game is good or bad. Like, if it's bad, you know, that's how you get feedback. That's how you get. Take criticism with a pinch of salt. Like, whether you think it's constructive or it's just like people are just blaming your game and that kind of things. But like, you really have to be able, like, we aren't in the day and age where it's just finding a big publisher and making games, where like, even you look at it, like now indie developers, they give the product keys to like streamers, they give their product keys to like the public to play. Like that is a form of marketing, that is a form of like advertising, you know, getting streamers to play the games and all that stuff. Like it's a way to showcase, like, you don't have, like, it's no longer the day and age where you can just try to apply for a booth at like Tokyo Game Show or like Comic Con or like the Game Con and wherever you are, where you have like a small booth in the indie corner to show that, hey, we are making this game. We are no longer in the day and age, considering the fact that how everything is so digitalized and everything. Like, having people to play the game, like it doesn't matter being it on the Steam store or whatever, but finding people to play your game, trying to like reaching out to them to say, hey, play my game. Like you don't have to pay them to play your game. You can just give them the product key and take their advice, take their responses, like whatever feedback they have from playing that game, that kind of thing. It's always good to do that, but I guess some people just don't understand that, that's all. Like, because politics get in the way of this kind of things, it really just makes things hard for them, I would say. Well, what to do? We live in such a day and age. I think maybe in the future I might consider setting up. I might do my own closed captions. So it's like I have a plan for like clipping my own debut video to make like a short 5-minute clip of just covering the important points of my debut video. I'll probably title it something along the lines of like debut people there I can speak. Wow. I for some reason I tried to speak in Japanese, but I wanted to speak in English, but I tried to speak in Japanese for a moment there. So yeah. So maybe I'm thinking something around like Aeter's debut for busy people or something like that. So like in Japanese it goes like 忙しい人のためにのデビュー配信とか. So it's like just gonna be like 5 minutes of what, like try to compress everything down in 5 minutes. And I'll just caption my own, like I'll just put it in like English and Japanese captions in myself. So I'll do the translating myself at the same time. So yeah. That will be a plan. Whether I go through with that plan or not is another question. But a plan that I want to do in the future. So like clipping my own videos, making like this short series for, like I call it the Busy People series, where people can just click and just watch like a clip. But at the same time, whether the clip is funny or not is subjective because I'm the one who's doing it. So yeah. Alright, I think it's about time. Like I've been here for quite a while now. I think I should call it a day for now. I will want to get some rest on my own. I hope you guys get enough rest too, because tomorrow is Tuesday. It's not the weekend yet, so we just ended the weekend, but slowly but surely we are having a holiday soon anyway. If I say which holiday it is, you guys would know where I stay anyway. But yeah, you guys will know where I'm in if I were to say what upcoming holiday we have. So yeah. So take it easy, get some rest, drink enough water, hydrate yourself regularly, and stay out of trouble. Then I'll see you guys next time whenever the next stream comes out. I'll be putting, you can check my Twitter for my upcoming streams. I'll usually try to put something up there by then, if there is a stream coming up in the coming days. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.